Hey, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, hit us up. Because today,
Let us know what you think.
we're diving deep into a story that could actually change how you experience election night.
Oh, yeah.
It's the New York Times,
Big story.
their iconic election needle,
That's right.
and the tech workers who are basically saying,
Yeah.
see you on the picket line.
It's pretty fascinating because this isn't just like a labor dispute or something.
Yeah.
It's really about the often unseen army of tech workers who power all the news we consume every day.
The people we never see.
Right. They're not just like making sure the websites stay up or anything.
Yeah.
They're actually the ones building the algorithms, managing the data feeds.
Right.
It's all the nuts and bolts behind how we actually understand elections in real time.
And you know how, everyone is glued to that needle watching it swing back and forth on election night?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, the New York Times Tech Guild.
Uh-huh.
The very people who keep that thing running.
They're threatening to strike,
I know.
potentially even on election day.
Huge, if true.
So to understand why this is such a big deal,
Right.
you have to understand what these algorithms actually do.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not just like spitting out random numbers.
Yeah.
They're taking in millions of data points,
Million.
weighing all these different factors and making projections
Yeah.
based on incredibly complex models.
Super complex.
So if those systems go down, we're not just talking about a frozen needle or something.
No.
We're talking about a potential blackout of reliable election information at a time when people need it the most.
The worst possible time.
And this isn't just like some far-fetched scenario or anything.
Yeah.
Remember the 2022 midterms?
Oh, yeah.
The needle actually did freeze for a while because of a coding error.
It did.
Now imagine that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But on a much larger scale with a strike looming.
Oh, that's...
So who are these tech wizards holding the election needle hostage, you ask?
Yeah, who are these people?
We're talking about over 600 software engineers, data scientists,
Wow.
the folks behind the scenes
Yeah.
who make all the digital magic happen at the Times.
Keep the lights on, so to speak.
And they're not even just responsible for the election needle.
Oh, right.
I mean, they work on everything from Wordle
Level 2?
to the cooking app.
Wow.
And for over 2 years now, they've been trying to negotiate a contract with the Times,
Long time.
fighting for better wages, job security,
Makes sense.
and even pushback on some of their return to office policies.
Yeah, a lot of companies trying to get people back in the office these days.
Now, the Times offered them a 1% raise.
1%?
1% in this economy. Are you kidding?
Brutal.
They're also asking for something called just cause protection,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
which basically means you can't be fired without a good reason.
Yeah, if you're doing a good job, they can't just fire you.
Right, exactly.
Makes sense.
I mean, think about it.
yeah.
They're the ones who are working all night
Oh, yeah.
to fix any technical snafus
Uh-huh.
that pop up on election night.
Right.
They're literally the backbone of this entire operation.
Yeah, they are.
And they're saying they deserve to be treated fairly.
I mean, yeah, I think that's fair.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Times is pushing back hard,
Yeah.
claiming that the Guild's demands are totally unrealistic
Unrealistic, okay.
and that a strike would be at odds with their mission.
Ooh, that's a good line.
They say that they have all these backup plans and they'll still be able to cover the election.
Oh, so they're saying they'll be fine.
But even sometimes reporters are
Oh.
expressing doubts about how smoothly things will actually run without the Tech Guild.
Really?
I mean, imagine trying to run election night coverage when your entire website keeps crashing.
Oh, my God.
Talk about a PR nightmare.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
What's fascinating about all of this is that this situation actually goes way beyond just the New York Times.
Oh, how so?
It highlights the growing power of tech workers within all sorts of media organizations these days.
It's interesting.
I mean, they're not just support staff anymore. They're
Right.
fundamental to how news is made and shared.
I see.
And it forces us to ask a bigger question.
Yeah.
How much do we actually value the people who keep our digital world running?
Right.
Especially in these critical moments,
Yeah.
like elections, when
Yeah.
we're all relying on them for accurate information.
Very important. Yeah.
Stick with us.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Because in part 2,
That's right.
we're going to look at some historical examples of how labor disputes have affected the media
Oh, interesting.
and explore what this showdown could actually mean for the future of journalism.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive
Yeah.
into this potential election needle showdown.
We've been talking about algorithms and data feeds,
Mm-hmm.
but let's face it, for most people, The election needle is like the star of the show.
It's true.
I mean, it's become this symbol of election night.
Right.
And, like, people panic if it's down for even a second.
Total meltdown.
Exactly.
It is a powerful visualization tool, though.
Right.
Absolutely. But it also highlights just how much work goes on behind the scenes
Right.
to make these digital experiences feel effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, those algorithms that power the needle,
Mhm.
the ones taking in millions of data points,
Right.
making real-time projections, all that stuff.
It's amazing.
Those are all built and maintained by the very people who are now threatening to walk out.
I know. It's kind of crazy to think about.
I know.
It's like the whole system depends on these tech wizards.
It does.
But only when things go wrong
Right.
do we realize they're even there.
Exactly. And this isn't just about the needle itself.
Right.
A strike could impact the entire digital infrastructure of the New York Times.
Oh.
The website, the apps, everything.
Everything.
I mean, remember, these are the same folks who keep Wordle running.
Oh, that's right.
So it's not just hardcore news junkies who could be affected here.
Okay, so we've established this could be like a major headache for the Times and its readers.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't the first time labor disputes have impacted media organizations.
That's true.
Looking back, there are some pretty striking examples
Yeah,
that show just how vulnerable these systems can actually be.
for sure.
One that comes to mind is the 2005 writer's strike in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Lasted 100 days
100 days.
and brought the entire television and film industry to a standstill.
Wow.
Shows went on hiatus. Movie productions were delayed.
Oh, my God.
It was a complete mess.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And that was before streaming services and social media were as dominant as they are today.
Right.
Imagine the fallout if something like that happened now.
I know. It would be chaos.
Right.
And closer to home.
Uh-huh.
We've seen journalists at publications like Gannett and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette go on strike in recent years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, it highlights this growing tension within media organizations, this struggle to adapt to the digital age while also ensuring fair treatment for the people who actually create the content.
I mean, it feels like a bit of a wake-up call, doesn't it?
It does.
We're so reliant on these digital platforms for news and information.
Totally.
But we rarely think about the people who keep them running.
Yeah.
What happens when they decide they've had enough?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Times might have backup plans.
Uh-huh.
But can they really replace the expertise and dedication of hundreds of skilled tech workers on short notice?
Right.
Especially when it comes to something as complex and high stakes as election night coverage.
Yeah, that seems pretty impossible.
It does seem risky, to say the least.
And this goes beyond just technical skills, too.
Right.
These tech workers have institutional knowledge. They understand the nuances of how these systems actually work.
Right. They know where all the bodies are buried, so to speak.
Exactly. You can't just throw anyone in there
No.
and expect them to keep things running smoothly, especially under the pressure of a national election.
It would be a disaster.
And this all brings us back to a bigger point.
Okay.
The growing power of tech workers across the board.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're realizing that they have leverage.
Definitely.
Especially in these moments of peak demand.
Right.
Whether it's election night coverage, a new game release,
Yeah.
or a social media platform going viral.
Uh-huh.
The people who keep these systems running are starting to flex their muscles.
They are?
So what does this all mean for the future of journalism?
Yeah, that's a big question.
And how do we ensure reliable access to news
Right.
in a digital landscape that's increasingly reliant on workers who are demanding better treatment?
Important questions to consider.
Those are the questions we'll tackle in the final part of our deep dive.
That's right.
So don't go anywhere. All right, so we're back for the final act of our election needle drama.
Yeah, the saga continues.
We've seen how crucial these tech workers are, how a strike could throw election night into total chaos,
Absolutely.
and how this whole situation reflects a much larger shift that's happening in the media landscape.
It really does.
So what now?
Yeah, where do we go from here?
What does this mean for the future of journalism?
Well, it's a question that keeps a lot of people up at night, let me tell you.
I bet.
We're at a crossroads, I think.
Yeah.
How do we make sure that quality journalism can thrive in a digital world that's constantly changing,
Yeah.
where the people who make it possible are demanding better treatment and recognition?
Rightfully so.
Right, exactly.
And we can't just keep relying on the old models, can we?
I don't think so.
I mean, newsrooms are shrinking, budgets are tight. Burnout is rampant.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be in the news business.
Something has to give.
It does.
And one thing that needs to change is how we value the work of journalists and the tech folks who support them.
Absolutely.
I can't just expect people to dedicate themselves to this profession
Right.
if they're barely scraping by or feeling completely burnt out.
No, you need to feel valued in your work.
So we're talking fair wages, reasonable working hours, giving people a voice in how these organizations are actually run.
All of the above.
And it also means, I think, being more conscious as consumers of news.
That's a good point.
Supporting news organizations that are committed to quality journalism.
Yeah.
Being wary of misinformation and understanding the difference between opinion and fact.
Really important.
I mean, it's like we all have a role to play in this, right?
We do.
It's not just on the journalists and the tech workers to figure this out.
No, it's on all of us.
We, the readers, the viewers, the people who rely on this information.
Right.
We need to be more engaged and hold these organizations accountable.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good point.
It's about being discerning, you know?
Right.
Critical thinkers
Yes.
don't just accept everything you read at face value.
Right.
Question sources, seek out diverse perspectives.
Be open-minded.
Be willing to have your own assumptions challenged.
Yeah, I think that's so important.
It is.
Because at the end of the day, a healthy democracy depends on an informed public.
That's right.
And an informed public depends on quality journalism.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's the core of it, isn't it?
It is.
This isn't just about websites crashing or a frozen election needle or whatever.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's about ensuring that we as citizens have access to the information that we need
Yes.
to make informed decisions about our future.
Our collective future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with a call to action.
Okay, I like it.
Support quality journalism, hold media organizations accountable,
Uh-huh.
and be an active and engaged citizen.
Be the change you want to see.
Because the future of news depends on all of us.
It really does.
And hey, while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, hit us up.
We'll see you in the next episode.